Welcome to the Rookie to Rockstar podcast. Tune in as we hear how local newbie investors overcame adversity, failed forward, and emerged victorious, completing deals that were completely outside their comfort zone. Now, prepare to be moved, motivated, and inspired. Here's your host, Eric Patterson.
All right, we are back. And this is the Rookie to Rockstar interview series. My guest today is Mohammed Alhareb. Say hello, Mo for short. Say hello, Mo.
Hi, Mo. How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. You know, I gotta share this with our listeners. We met at a meetup, Mo and I, and I gotta tell you, his story is one of the most inspirational I've heard in a long time. And I'm hoping we can kind of recapture that moment in sharing that with our listeners today. Mo, how about you start out with kind of your background, how you got into the States, and more importantly, how you got into real estate investing?
Yes. So again, my name is Mohammed, and I am married. I have two kids. I moved to the state almost 2.5 years ago, to Utah exactly. And how I get here is I was working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for more than 2 years. And as a reward, there was like a program run by the state to offer all the peoples who helped the U.S. Army in their mission to give them the visa and the green card to come to the United States. So that's how I get here.
Okay. And you get into real estate. How did you choose real estate investing? I mean, a little birdie told me, you actually told me this, that you didn't even know what the word mortgage meant, right?
Actually, why to come to United States? I still believe it's the dreamland when people come here to achieve their dreams. And I still believe in the American dream. So real estate is the first thing comes across me in United States. So this is one road will definitely gonna lead to the American dreams. And there's hundreds and thousands of people already build wealth and achieve the American dreams by using real estate as a platform to achieve that.
Right.
So I have no idea how why real estate. Just like this is the first thing I found to build with. Beside I was having a full-time job. Okay. So when I started, I literally have no idea how the normal real estate is working when people go and buy the house.
Right.
Other than the all creative ways for real estate investors to all the situations and how they make profits and help other people do what they want on real estate.
That's amazing. I mean, not only were you dealing with a whole new culture, learning English, learning real estate, you're trying to support your family. I think about some of our listeners out there who are really struggling with taking the next step, the next action step. They're not dealing with a percentage, a fraction of what you've had to deal with. And so I much respect to you, sir, for making, for actually doing your first deal. So let's talk about that first deal. What was that like? Describe that to me.
So first of all, thank you, Eric, for all your compliment. I really appreciate that. And I didn't do anything unique. So anyone can start real estate investing. So I face a lot of different challenging, but everyone will face challenging going through this journey.
Sure.
I try, so on the online, there's different applications when you find a group of people. I was using Meetup, other people sharing the same, let's say, principles. Mm-hmm. So on Meetup, I was searching for real estate groups. I was searching, so I went to 3-4 meetings, different groups doing real estate. I end up with the same place when we met at the Huddles Bar as a meetup group. I met a wonderful man, Jeff Rappaport, and how I started working on real estate. He have a really great program when he take apprentice people like myself who have no idea what real estate means. And he don't charge any money. Instead, we will go in a partnership together. He will teach me how to find deals.
Mm-hmm.
And when we find them, he will take them and close them, make them profit, and then we will share the profits.
Nice, nice. Okay.
So that's, I mean, like at the beginning, I have almost no money to start with. A lot of education system charging really too much,
Right.
a lot of money. So that was like the perfect path and for my situation to go.
Okay.
So we started step by step. He was teaching me what's for sale by owner mean. I mean, like, that's make total sense for me. This is the owner of the house want to sell the house. So
Right.
why he's like for sale by owner? It's like, and he start teaching me like there is an agent, real estate, when you a realtor and all of that. And again, you mentioned like about mortgage. I was like, what's mortgage and why there's a T in the middle, So it's like, so that's another challenge. And so we start, I'm sorry, I want to get back to your question about my first deal. So I start doing what he's asking me to do, driving neighborhood, knocking on doors, try to find potential leads to close up on deals, calling for sale by owner, any properties online. And after 8 months, so it didn't happen in 2 weeks. After 8 months, we closed my first deal. So it took me 8 months of working without getting any money, without getting anything. I was like, I was just keeping believing in him, and it was a really good one. So my share of that first deal was 7,000.
$7,000. Listen, I there's so much of value I can pull from it. So many nuggets, really. Where do I begin? First of all, 8 months of you making phone calls, cold calls, knocking on doors. Hi, I'm Mohammed. Slam the door. Hi, I'm Mohammed. So many rejection, I'm sure. 8 months. So the perseverance, the fact that you actually, hired a coach, a mentor, and someone who was willing to take you under their wing and to, split the deal with you. Made it very economical for you. That's amazing. And so again, I just want to pass that on to listeners, make sure they caught that because, again, these are different creative ways that you can get into this business without having your own set of funds or own expertise. There's a learning curve, but just if you're willing to put in the time, you will reap the benefits. You'll reap the rewards. Just to kind of keep it moving, Mo. Let me ask you this. We talked about the challenges. What did you do when things got really tough? I mean, did you ever feel like giving up at any point?
Yeah, of course, all the time.
Okay.
But again, I'm like working toward achieving the American dream. I think anyone could potentially have at least $10,000 on passive cash flow each month without need to work. So I am achieving that. And I know each step I'm going forward is each no gonna get me closer to the yes.
Excellent attitude. Yeah.
So I don't mind like I'm actually counting the no's, not the yeses.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. So it's like, I get that from the book I read called The Compound Effect. And it's like, let's count how many no you will get.
Yeah.
So I get like 15 no, and then I will get yes. Some days I'll get like 70 no to get yes.
I got to stop there for a moment. What a profound perspective, wisdom right there. Count the no's, not the yeses, and you will get to you'll have success ultimately. The book, one more time, is The Compound Effect.
Yeah, the book is The Compound Effect. It's
Okay.
I think it's by Mr. Hardy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think David Hardy or something. I think. Yeah. Okay.
That's the one.
What's as we begin to wrap up here? What's an actionable step? If you could talk to somebody right now who's listening to this, who's just right near the edge, they're learning, they're in analysis paralysis, they're looking on the websites, and they're not quite ready to take the next step. What's an actionable step you'd say to encourage them or inspire them to take action?
Yes. So they really need to get a coach, but for a company, certain amount of money. So the coach have to have a financial invest interest in me.
Mm-hmm.
So that means when you go and you pay certain company like $10,000, they will give you materials, they will teach you.
Right.
If you succeed or not, that will not reflect on the company
Right.
or any coaching that you are receiving from. So in my relationship with my coach, Jeff Rappaport, when I succeed, he will succeed.
Awesome.
He wants me to succeed, so he will succeed.
Yeah.
So finding a coach, but not any coach. There's a lot of people go and put their credit card to the max, paying a lot of money to the coach who actually he want them to be successful, but if not, that will not reflect anything on him.
They don't have skin in the game. So that's what we say here in the States, no skin in the game. I hear you. Let me, one last question as we wrap up here, Mo. If you had to do it all over again, is there anything you would change knowing that what you know now?
Actually, no.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, everything is working perfect for me, timing wise.
Yeah.
And my life is much better now than ever.
That's excellent, man. Sounds like you've been truly blessed. I thank you for your words of encouragement. It sounds like the journey for you has been filled with a lot of learning experiences and it's made you the person you are today. And I can only see greater things going forward with your attitude, your discipline. It's a perfect immigrant story here coming to the U.S. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Eric. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate that.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. Rookie to Rockstar. Go out there and take some action. And if you want to reach out to Mohammed, I will put his email address out here for you to reach out to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Have a good one.
All right. All right, welcome back. This is probably one of my most favorite interviews, and I really appreciate Mohammed for allowing me to kind of pick his brain a bit and really dig into his background and how he's been able to really be successful. If you're ever in a situation where you feel like you don't know enough, if you feel like you don't have enough money, if you feel like your resources are just aren't there, or if you feel like that there's just no deals to be had, I encourage you to come back to this video. Mohammed's one of these guys who doesn't let excuses stand in his way or a challenge stand in his way. He approaches it with the optimism and the tenacity necessary to make stuff happen. And so I guarantee you, a few years from now, he's going to be one of these guys, if he's still in the local area, on these expert panels, right, and answering questions from the audience. He's just a mover and shaker. So thanks to him for doing that. Just some takeaways that I got from this interview. You might have gotten, something, gleaned something from it. Here's what I took away. Meetup groups are so important. Make sure you go to, not only are you going to the association meetings, but also attend the meetup groups, because a lot of times in those meetings you find people, it's just a different atmosphere and maybe more relaxed, more conversational. You can just meet and greet people, whereas the associations typically, a lot of times you're listening to someone in front of the room. It's not often a lot of time for you to kind of mix and mingle and network. All right, count the no's. Count the no's. This is just, for me, I've used this so much in my practice and what I do, in really focusing on the no's. Here's the deal. Let's give you an example. Let's just say your average deal, or the deal that you're expecting, is going to be about a $10,000 deal, okay? And you know, based on your numbers, that it takes 100 calls to get to that $10,000 deal. Okay, I'm just making the math easy. So 100 divided by 10,000 is going to be $100. Did I do the math right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. So each call that you make essentially is $100, right? So how much more optimistic or motivated would you be to make phone calls if you knew that every freaking call that you made was worth $100 en route to getting that $10,000 deal? So just a little tidbit for me. That helps me, but count the no's. Don't focus on the no's, and the yeses will come. It's a numbers game. Coaching with skin in the game. Obviously, coaching is important, mentoring is important, but this is just a different spin on it. Mohammed was able to get out there and find a coach who didn't necessarily take didn't take a price up front, right? Didn't take money up front, But what he was able to do was negotiate a way to where if the coach helped him find a deal, negotiate the deal, put the deal on the contract, and close the deal, then the coach would get a piece as well as Mohammed. What a great way, what a great setup to have, to where now that coach or mentor is now, again, has some skin in the game and has a vested interest in seeing you succeed. Just a different take on it, highly recommended, okay? The compound effect. I've read this book. I've actually listened to the book. Phenomenal book. I highly encourage you to get it, by Darren Hardy. And speaking of the compound effect, of course, I got to get a plug-in for the private banking strategy. How would you like to have what we call dual compounding? Your money growing in two places at one time. There's no other way that I know of that allows you to do this, whereas you're actually able to save money and spend it at the same time than the private banking strategy. So if you're interested in learning how that works, right now most people are putting their reserve capital, their opportunity fund is being stored in a bank, right? You only have one option there. You just got to save it, and the bank has control of your money, and they're paying you peanuts, right, to be able to do that. And so with this strategy, you're getting a 4 to 6% tax-free return. At the same time, you're able to use your money outside of that account to be able to put it into real estate. And because of that, you're able to more than double your returns over the long term. Because not only are you counting the money that's earning and being productive in your properties, but also that money is being productive outside the property, okay? Anyway, email me if you want more information on that. I have a 5-video series I'd love to send to you with more information, and you can look at your leisure, and we can set up a 15, 30-minute consultation to answer your questions, all right? All right, thank you again for listening, and stay tuned for the next Rookie to Rockstar podcast, and to your prosperity. Thank you.